The day I stopped speaking up. It happened in a meeting on a Thursday. I suggested an approach to a project problem, laid out my reasoning, backed it up with data. My manager nodded absently and moved on. 10 minutes later, my male colleague said essentially the same thing, not even rephrased, just repeated what I'd said, and suddenly everyone was listening. "That's a great point, David," my manager said. "Let's go with that approach." I sat there, invisible, wondering if I'd imagined speaking at all. It wasn't the first time. It wouldn't be the last. I used to speak up in meetings. Back when I was an intern, fresh out of college, I'd raise my hand with ideas. I'd volunteer for projects. I'd stay late, come in early, ask questions, push back on things that didn't make sense. I was excited, energetic, I took risks. Now I sit in meetings and say nothing. I watch the clock. I count down the minutes until I can close my laptop and pretend, for a few hours, that this job doesn't exist. I don't remember exactly when I stopped trying. It wasn't one moment. It was 1,000 small moments. Ideas dismissed, contributions ignored, credit given to someone else for work I'd done. A slow accumulation of being unseen until I just stopped trying to be seen. Why bother speaking if no one's listening anyway? Every morning, I drag my feet getting ready for work. I sit on the edge of the bed, already exhausted, and think about the 8 hours ahead. The meetings where I'll be talked over. The emails that will pile up faster than I can answer them. The projects I don't care about. The manager who doesn't value me. The spreadsheets and reports and calls that fill my days with noise but never meaning. I think about calling in sick. I fantasize about quitting. I imagine what it would feel like to just not go. Then I think about the health insurance, the mortgage, the therapy bills, Liam's after-school program, Ria's needs, the 529 accounts we're barely contributing to. I get up and go to work. Chris notices. "You seem really down lately," he said last week. "I'm fine." "You say that a lot." I almost laughed. I've been teaching the kids not to say fine when they're not fine, and here I am, doing exactly that. Work is just hard right now. Is it the job or the depression? Both, neither, I don't know anymore. The truth is, I can't separate them. The job feeds the depression. The depression makes the job harder. It's a cycle I can't break because I can't afford to break it. "What if you looked for something else?" he suggested gently. I've tried. I update my resume every few months, scroll through job postings, feel a flicker of hope, then remember I barely have energy to do the job I have. How am I supposed to job search, interview, start over somewhere new? And what if the next place is worse? What if I leave and realize the problem isn't the job, it's me? The kids are starting to notice too. Last week, Liam asked, "Do you like your work, Mommy?" "Not really," I admitted, because I'm trying to be honest with them. "Then why do you go?" "Because we need the money, to pay for our house and food and everything." He thought about this, then said, "Is that why you're always sad?" My heart cracked. "I'm not always sad, buddy." "You cry a lot." I didn't know what to say to that, because he was right. There's this narrative about work that I grew up believing. If you work hard, you'll be valued. If you're smart and capable and dedicated, you'll succeed. If you're not happy, it's because you're not trying hard enough, or you're in the wrong role, or you need to speak up more. But I did all that. I worked hard. I was dedicated. I spoke up until speaking up became pointless. Now, with AI advancing every day, with layoff threats whispered in every meeting, I tell myself I should feel grateful. Lucky to have a job at all. Privileged to be employed when so many people aren't. But gratitude doesn't erase misery. I can acknowledge that I'm fortunate to be employed and still hate what I'm doing. Both things can be true. Work takes up the majority of my waking hours. 8 hours a day, minimum. More when I'm catching up at night or on weekends. More when I count the mental energy I spend thinking about it, dreading it, recovering from it. If work is a big part of life, and work is miserable, then life is miserable. That's the math I can't escape. I don't know how to fix this. I can't quit. I can't magically make myself excited about a job that drains me. I can't unsee the years of being dismissed and overlooked. I can't take back the risks I stopped taking, the voice I stopped using, the version of myself I lost somewhere between that eager intern and this exhausted shell. What I can do, what I'm trying to do, is contain it. Keep the misery at work from bleeding into every part of my life. Some days I fail. I come home irritable, snap at the kids, spend the evening numb and disconnected. But some days, I manage to leave it at the office, to close my laptop and be present, to remind myself that work is what I do, not who I am. Some days, I remember that the intern who was excited and energetic, she's still in here somewhere, buried under years of disappointment and fatigue, and just trying to survive. Maybe she'll come back someday. Maybe in a different job, a different life, a different version of this story. Or maybe she won't. Maybe this is just what work is for some of us. Something we endure because we have to, not because we want to. Either way, I keep going. Not because I'm strong or resilient or any of those words people use to make suffering sound noble. But because I don't have a choice. And maybe someday that will change.